welcome to the Cracked Kick-Ass Coach podcast. Today I have the incredible Jo Watson. Why is she incredible? She's incredible because she'll sort it in 60. She's a copywriter like no other. She works with Barry the cat very closely. And if you've got a copywriting issue that needs sorting in 60, you contact Jo Watson. She's down to earth, she's funny, she's great. I've known her for a while, virtually, obviously, never met in real life. And well worth a listen, particularly if you're a coach, consultant, advisor who's struggling to find your positioning piece or what you're about or to niche down. Have a listen. You'll really enjoy it. I don't know. Anyway, Jo, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you, my darling bonbon. I'm all right. I've been looking forward to this.
Oh, I'm so excited. I've given, you haven't heard it, but I pre-recorded the intro. I've given you a really big up intro.
Oh,
Okay. So you missed that bit because I did it before you arrived, but you'll hear it when the podcast goes out. So my question is Barry the cat with you?
he's not. I don't know
Right.
where he is. That makes me nervous. So I feel like he could just appear at any time. But would you like a substitute? I've got something I can use as a
Go
substitute.
for it. Yeah,
You'll
yeah,
hardly
yeah.
notice it's here, honestly.
Okay. Is it vegan friendly?
I don't know. You tell me.
That doesn't look vegan friendly to me, Joe.
It's just, I I don't know where it is. I'll be honest with you. I don't know where it is. My one of my friends said, "Oh, what can I get Lily for Christmas?" And I said she likes squishmallows. They're taken.
Okay.
Oh God, whoever designed them, bloody hell, what a great idea that was.
Yeah.
Um, and I said there's ones that are like um I don't know, a creature dressed as another creature. She liked
Yeah.
them. And I said, just get her, they're tiny, they're fine, you know. And so they got her the biggest one they could find.
It's
It is
huge.
a drake dressed as a pumpkin because,
It
you know, why not?
it's Humpty Dumpty meets Yoda.
It is actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. But in the absence of Barry, we can have this. I mean, it won't draw the eye, don't worry. It won't,
No, that's fine. We'll
it
live
won't
with that. Does it have a name?
Yeah, in the grand tradition of Lily being thoroughly unimaginative with her name, she's called it Pumpkin Duck.
Excellent. Excellent. Say
So,
say what you see.
say what you say, and to be honest, I prefer it because whilst I think, you know, come on, you've got a brain in there, use some imagination. She went through a phase of calling them human names, so she had a gecko and she called it Graham,
Right.
and I was like,
It's
well, but
alliterative.
it is, but she was like 4. I was like, what 4-year-old knows anyone called Graham? And so where she got that from? Anyway, but no, it won't steal focus. Don't worry, Bombard. It'll be fine.
No, it'd be fine. Right. So the way I've bigged you up, Joe, is that you sort stuff in 60,
Yes.
and our podcast is Crapped Kick-Ass Coach.
Which
All
I love.
right. So loads of coaches put themselves on LinkedIn and go, I help female leaders feel empowered. And I go, vomit.
Yes.
Okay. What do you do to sort people like that out? Just talk us through your process.
It's all about listening. I get this feeling that so many coaches are just so primed to go and tell you what I think. And I've got a method, and I think I know what your problem is, and here's how you're going to solve it. And I've found with Sorted in 60, it's about truly listening to, well, what is the issue? Why have they called you? Why have they invested all that money in you in the first place? Because I charge up front. So, like, you know, they're paying me a lot of money before they've even said hello. So, you know, what's made them trust me and think you're the one who can sort it? So we start the call and it's straight away over to them. What is it? What's going on? What's wrong with the copy, the content, the comms? What's working? What's not? Why did they feel compelled to, you know, to send me that email? And I just find that is absolutely key, but it's a skill
Mm.
that just so many coaches and mentors and trainers they're not using. They just want to go all in with the let me empower you. Let me
Yeah. Please stop. I do not want to be empowered.
Yeah, I don't want it. I'm fine. I'm fine with the
Yeah.
level of power I have.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't want to be facilitated. I
Exactly.
don't want to be helped.
No, it's,
No.
it's all it's all big on the I help, isn't it? And I
Yeah.
do get it. I get that it's a nice template to follow and it will work for a lot of people. It'll work
Mm.
for the person writing it and it'll work for some of the people who are reading it and think, yeah, that's what I need. But you and I, we don't work with everyday generic people. We work with people who just want something a bit different, don't they? So,
A client of mine suggested yesterday that I might be a bit odd.
and I hope
I
you took that as a compliment.
did. I did. I said that's rich coming from you. So
I've learned always just to say, oh, thank you.
yeah, thank you
Whenever
for that.
anyone says anything, just like,
So as I was thinking about our podcast, I was wondering whether you've ever had a proper job.
all right, mum.
Have you ever had a proper job, Joe? And we could talk about the time when you and I both once had proper jobs. And then we could talk about what happened.
It was a long time ago, and but I was young. I needed the money.
What did you do, though? I have no idea.
I was a teacher.
No, I did not know
Mm.
that.
Yeah, I was a teacher, and even more surprisingly, I was a primary school teacher.
Right.
And for someone who really didn't like kids, it was a strange career choice. But I got bullied into it. I left uni with my degree in English, which to this
Mm.
day has helped me in no way whatsoever.
Same. Was it English language or literature?
When I applied, it was both because I thought I love
Oh,
both. Let's combine them. Within the first year, I dropped literature because
did you?
it was killing me. It was killing my love of reading. It was just
Right.
awful. Nothing we read was written after the 1600s.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was, in fact, I know I do remember there was a more modern text. We did The Handmaid's Tale,
Okay.
which I appreciate is very important and very much a reality, or it's a very
Yeah,
realistic text for
it
today,
is.
isn't it? But I don't know. I was like, God, this is a bit. I don't know. I just wanted something lighter. I wanted something a bit more fun and enjoyable, and you don't get that with an English literature degree.
Well, hang on. No, because I need to put in another cushion because I'm a bit low. Hang on. It's not for me piles. It's just to get to go.
I feel.
Um,
Don't worry.
but English language is all grammar,
There was an element of it,
right?
was that, and I remember sitting every Thursday morning in a computer lab, and we were doing something called parsing.
Oh yeah.
And I still don't fully know what it is, but it was about like identifying key parts of words and what they were. And I don't know what the benefits of that was, but I found it quite therapeutic.
Okay.
But no, the majority of the stuff with the language where I was at Lancaster, they had a focus on women in kind of, women and gender in general in language and society. So that was a nice one. My favorite one though, there was a course on stylistics and
Okay.
how authors play around with different authors, writers, producers, whatever, will play around with different techniques to really make the language connect with an audience. And I loved that. I found that very, very
Um,
interesting. But yeah, literature had to go. That was that was awful. It was the worst thing ever. And I was a big reader as well. But it became very, very clear to me that I'm sorry, but I don't think you can examine someone on that because it's all interpretive. It's all subjective, isn't it?
it is. Yeah,
What
it
what
is.
do you think the author meant? Well, I think the author meant this, but you're going to tell me I'm wrong. It's not
Yeah, I
what.
had a lot of that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
just battled
remember.
through.
I did a battle through for like that first year, but
Yeah.
no, I couldn't go on any longer with that. So I switched to language, and much as I loved it, it hasn't helped me. It's
Well, it can. Well, that's what you do. So you said you connected the words to the audience. That's what you do now.
I do, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because I never sit there and go, thank God I was in those classes. Otherwise, I struggle with this right now. I think everything that I do, maybe with the writing, yeah, there's something there. The
Yeah.
lessons and the teachings are there. But with Sorted in 60, where it's just me and the client or their team, if they want to bring them along, it's connecting with them and
Yeah.
very much bouncing off them and what they say and reading them. And that's the bit I love. I love it where if I suggest something and they might go, yeah, yeah, okay. Straight away, I'm like, no, that's not going to work. Then that's awful. That's the worst idea
Yeah.
I could possibly give you. But when they come back and they go, oh my God, that's it. Yes. Oh, we need to do this.
Yeah.
God, I thrive on that. I love that. And sadly, there are no classes that give you an education like that, really. Yeah.
No, no, there's not. What kind of people do you help?
I I've found recently a lot of people in the construction sector
Really?
are using me for this, and I don't know why, because I've never put it out there. I've never gone, you know what? I love bricks because that's what construction is. It's
I
brick.
like a steel joist.
Who doesn't?
Love a steel
Who doesn't?
joist.
And I mean, sometimes, with my family, all I'll talk about is steel joist, but I don't
Yeah,
think I've ever put it out there in my marketing. So
no,
it's strange that people are wanting to work with me. But it probably never comes down to niche. It just so happens that
yeah,
a certain sector are using you, and that's just how life works. But in terms of people, it's people who just, I think they want to have a bit of fun with it.
yeah,
They want to
yeah,
enjoy it because ultimately they are going to be the person who goes away and writes it up, whether it's the comms to their team or, some training that they're putting together or marketing copy that's going out to the wider world or they're working on an article or website copy, whatever the writing challenge is. Ultimately, they are going to go away and be the one who does it,
yeah.
paying me for the idea or the steer on it. And so they have to be enthused. They have to think, can I swear?
Yes.
Alcohol right on. I always check, Bon. I always check. But I want them to go, fucking hell, I loved that. That was amazing.
Yeah,
I feel energized. I feel like it was fun. So that when they do go away, they've got all that there, kind of giving them that push to actually get going with it. So I think it's people who want to have fun and enjoy it rather than go through the motions. So there might be people who do what I do, but do they do it the way I do it? Well, they can't because I'm just me.
yeah. Tired of being a lonely coach? Well, don't be alone any longer. Join us at tricrest.com, tricres.com. Find all the models, frameworks, PowerPoints, tools you're ever going to need as a coach. Help on marketing, selling, and position yourself as a coach. Plus, a lot of other great kick-ass coaches are in that community. We'll see you there, tricres.com. Bye.
And God
Yeah.
forbid there's another one of them knocking around. So,
Thank goodness for that. That's what I say.
and you're quite right. You're quite right. But no, with that whole English degree thing, as you can imagine, I came out of uni and I had nowhere to go.
No.
So,
Now what do I do?
I said, what the hell do I do with this? This isn't getting me any jobs. I applied. I don't know if you remember this, Bon. There was a green. Oh God, it was like a prospectus. In fact, it was a prospectus. It was called prospects. And it
Right.
was this massive thing we got given in third year at uni, and it had every company in it ever that was taking on graduates.
Oh, no,
And
we did not get that.
as well, I did, but it was a complete waste because I must have applied for internships and graduate placements with everything, and everyone, and I never got anything. And I remember one of my best friends, Lucy, she's still my best friend to this day. She boycotted 3M, the people who make
Oh,
post-it,
yeah, yeah.
because they got me involved in this massive interview process that was like seven
Right.
events long over a period of 3 months. And then at the last stage, they just went, no, we've got nothing for you. And my mate Lucy was just so horrified by that. She's never bought a post-it
Is
note.
that right?
She won't do it. Honestly, she won't do it. And I'm
That's
like, look,
such loyalty.
it is, isn't it? And I'm like, look, I'm over it, love. I've got
Yeah, I know you've got them all over your wall.
exactly on my notes to self, etc. But she's like, no, won't do it the way they treated you. No, do it. So, so yes, that didn't get anywhere. But I applied for a job in the local paper from where my mum and dad were back home, and it was as a play leader.
Excellent.
And I just thought this will be easy, and it was to an extent. But my boss was like, "Right, you've done a really good job over the summer holidays doing this, so I've got you a job offer is on the table for a teaching assistant role."
Wow.
So I went and took that, and I just thought I was really arrogant. I was just thinking I could do this better.
Right.
And so I applied for the PGCE and went on into teaching, and I did that for a number of years. But I was always doing writing in my spare time and
Right.
being good with words and shit. So I thought this needs to be where I go eventually. But yeah, I had a proper job, a proper grown-up one.
Yeah, with a salary and a pension.
Oh, I know. Little did I know how much I'd regret getting rid of that. Yeah. Getting rid of that teacher's pension is one of the best ones there is. That's why nobody leaves.
I know it is why
People
nobody
will not
leaves.
leave. Yeah.
No, I know.
Good.
It is too good. I know. Well, that little pot you put away, that will grow. It's not gone.
I,
This
s-
It does grow, honestly, because I'm ancient. Like I literally put like 100 quid away in a private pension before the companies had to give you a pension. So I only had it for 2 months. That was, I don't know, 30 years ago.
yeah.
It's now worth 1,500 quid, and I haven't done anything with it.
This is it's
Pensions are magic. They're
what's it called?
magic.
What's the
Compound
word?
interest
Compound interest.
is
That's
what
compound.
it's called. Yeah, it's magic. So I'm hoping in 5 years that 1,500 be worth, I don't know, like 1,000,000 quid or something.
Every- Everything crossed. Yeah. Well, I'll have a look at what I put in there in the few years I was doing it. But then you hit on a good point. I only got that pension whilst I was in traditional education. I moved out after a couple of years and did alternative education for a football club.
Did you?
At the time, they were a Premier League football club, but it was back in the days where companies didn't have
Yeah.
to give you a pension. So I got nothing there. I was still a teacher, but I was
Oh.
not enjoying the benefits because I wasn't in a traditional school.
So were you teaching the football kids coming up through their academy?
It was part of my job, but only a small part. The
Right.
main one was getting kids and adults in the local area to engage in education through the power of sport and through the power of the
Oh,
local football club. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Yeah, we'd have like GCSE students coming in from local high schools doing business enterprise days. So they do like
brilliant.
the coursework projects for business studies. They come and do it, like interviewing people at the club, finding out how the finances work. I
Or
could
not.
run that day these days. No, you don't. I don't think anyone would let you look at the finances of
No.
the football club anymore. But yeah,
And
proper job.
yeah, I know. God. So when did you go out on your own? Because some coaches, we get our coaches, some of them, we did a call yesterday, and there's always one person on the call who literally left their salaried job yesterday or last week. There's always one. And
Yeah.
sure enough, there was this guy who went, yeah, I left last week. I'm like, yay, freedom, that's fabulous. And they come to us and they're exploring their options, which is great, blah, 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 all the rest of it. So when you left your proper job, what did you think you would do?
It was a very strange time because I left the football club.
Hmm.
I walked out.
Right,
It was awful, and I'd always been the kind of person who was very sensible with money,
right.
committed to work, and all of that kind of thing. And I would never advocate just leaving a job. You know that they do in
No,
American movies where they're like, "Oh,
yeah.
I didn't love my job, so I just quit, and now I'm going to walk on the beach and make shoes and stuff like that." And it wasn't anything like that. I was subject to a lot of bullying because I was a
Oh,
woman in a football club.
right.
Not good. You're fine if you're working at a fairly junior level. You go under the radar. But I got I got given a promotion because the person before me was let go, and I got none of the pay and none of the benefits.
Yay,
Yeah, exactly. Wonderful.
yay.
And if someone said that to me now, I'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah,
Back then, I had no one really
no.
to help me. And I was there thinking, oh, if I just do a good job and prove myself in this high pressured role that I'm not being paid for. But it was awful. The sexism was horrendous.
Oh.
There was a woman who was higher than me, and I went to her in tears and I was like, please help me. How do I get through this? And her response was, nobody helped me, so I'm not helping you.
Oh, that's mean.
So that was the final straw for me.
Yeah,
So I'm either gonna die here
yeah.
or I will stay and I'll turn into what she's become.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Didn't want that, so I
No.
left and I started working for a startup, and I thought, well, this is fun helping someone else run their own business and build it, and I loved that, and I got a bit of an insight as to what it meant to run a business, and I just had a good write up, my writing gig kind of on the side, and then I thought after a few years, I thought I'm just going to go all in on it, and
Right.
I've built a bit of a base. I've got a bit of a portfolio. I know what I'm doing. My husband Steve was really, really supportive. He's always run his own business, so he's been
Good.
through all the highs and lows. So we were in a good position. So I left, on great terms and everything. And I left, and then 3 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant with Lily.
Way! Timing is
Timing,
everything.
timing's everything. And I just thought, well, I I don't know what to do now, but I've got this actual baby on the way, and I've got this business baby. But you know what? 8 years on, the baby's alive, the business is alive, I'm alive. So I must have done all right with it. It was hard, but I think it puts everything into perspective for you when you hit challenges further down the road. You think, look, I took on two massive challenges
Yeah,
at
you
once.
did.
I can do anything. Well,
Yeah. So loads of our coaches are really scared when they first go out on their own. And it's understandable. They've got bills to pay, mortgages to pay, families to feed. Um, your investment up front, was it 325 quid for
further
your
sorted in 60.
60?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So they pay that up front, and then we have the hour. Obviously, if it goes over a bit, that's fine. I'm not like
yeah.
sat there with a stop.
No, 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 indeed. The call suddenly ends
They just
mid-sentence.
yeah, just as I go, oh, you know what would be fantastic, and then it goes. But, no, I wouldn't do that. But it's really, really nice. I love it. I feel the pressure because I offer a block of them, which is obviously
Okay,
a little bit cheaper per session if you do it that way.
right.
I always get a little bit frightened when someone who I don't know just books a block. And I'm like, oh my God, but what if the first one's terrible? I'm like, well, let's make sure it's not. Have a bit more faith in yourself, Joe. And it's not the imposter syndrome thing. I know I'm great at what I do.
Yeah.
I always see it as how would I do it? And it wouldn't matter how much I loved someone or believed in a product or a service. I don't think I'd ever go all in. I think I'd always do one and then build up. So I
Oh,
see
that's
it from my
interesting.
own mind,
Right.
not oh my God, I'm not good at this. You'll hate me after the first session. It's definitely not that. They'll love me.
Yeah, no, they will. Absolutely. Absolutely. We can take them so far. I do help them niche and we do help them get their words and phrases and things like that. But you have a unique talent that, our content will, as I say, will get them so far, but you're the refinement, you're the real well, you're the expert on it. You're the expertise to really make it shine and polish and all the rest of it. So I urge coaches who are listening to book in with Joe because it'll be money very, very well spent,
Oh,
definitely.
thank you.
Yeah. So your your success, and again, this is for our coaches out there because loads of them are now really allergic to LinkedIn. Okay.
Understandably.
They come out in hives. I need to prescribe Piriton for them. And I've got to the point now where if they're really, really allergic, I'll say, look, just don't do it. If it makes you feel ill, don't do it. Just go to in-person networking. You've got to do something though. You can't just sit at home because nobody will know you're there. Unless you were the former head of Coca-Cola, you're not just going to get work, all right? You've got to go somewhere.
I bet you've got that person on your books as well. I
What?
know you've got the celebs on Bond on. I know
Haven't.
you've got like MI5 former
Oh,
COO and stuff
the,
like that.
the claim to fame is one of our coaches is the former head of counter-terrorism for the West Midlands Police.
Wow.
Aye. So Sharon, she's on our website. She's not quite finished her profile yet. So you got Sharon Clay. Honestly, epic. When I said to her, "What did you do?" I was like, "Oh, I'm a bit scared now." I'm really
That's
scared.
that's a proper job.
Serious job, like properly saving lives and everything job.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. We're just playing at it. We're just
Oh my.
frittering about.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, this is something that kind of irks me with coaches, consultants, trainers. There's one thing being sure of what you do and knowing you're good at it and having that energy flow through and saying, look, this is the one thing I'm good at. This is what I do. And in a
yeah,
world where I'm not good at anything else, I am more than happy to say,
yeah,
this is what I'm good at,
yeah.
what I can help you with. But then you get people going, I change so many lives with what I do. And I'm sorry, I know I say my sessions are the creative, collaborative, and truly transformational. I say that, but it is transformational for their business or their project or their messaging for what they're trying to do. I'm not curing cancer.
No,
And I'm not, putting right the wrongs of the world. I am not changing lives. I would never claim I am. That is ludicrous. But
yeah,
you've got people out there going, I'm changing so many lives. When you've got this person,
I
as you say,
know.
who's actually out there stopping hideous things happening at
Blowing
that
people up.
level.
That was her job. I know.
Yeah, how could I'd love that. I'd love her to do, go face to face with a LinkedIn influencer on a
Yeah.
who goes, I change people's lives. Do
Yeah,
you
good.
love jog on? Yeah,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, very good. That's nice. Off you
that's
pop.
yeah. Oh my God. But yeah,
I
that is a
know.
good job, that.
Well impressed. I know. Very, very impressive. And I nearly said, and you want to join us? Why? But yeah, what we do is
What can I
really good. So, and she
do?
loves it. And she was dead organized and she filed everything into color coordinated files and she had a command center and everything. Yeah, I
Just
know.
get all the high profile clients.
I know. I know. I don't know how.
That's what you do. It's the energy you're putting out there, and people are just flowing on in. That's
Well, I had one of those classics, and you'll have had this. Again, this is for our coaches who get a little bit scared about showing their personality and stuff. And they're like, what if somebody doesn't like me? What if somebody sends me a hate message? And I had one the other week from Mike with no profile picture. Mike with no profile picture going, can you stop using kick ass? He sent me a little message. Please stop using
oh,
kick ass. It was almost like he was saying it's a bit uncouth and not ladylike. It didn't quite go that far, but that was the general gist of it.
oh.
And I just said, thank you for your helpful suggestion, Mike.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we'd anger out with love, Mike. Yeah,
Yeah.
just don't you find though? There's a there's a wonderful bit of power there, and I would never advise anyone to abuse their power. But
No,
someone has gone out of their way. Someone who doesn't know you, has no interest in, working with you.
no,
They're nothing to you.
no.
They're everything in their own circle, but they're nothing to you.
Yeah.
You're nothing to them. Yeah, they've gone out of their way.
No, puppet. What a puppet.
But there's a bit of power there to think, yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
I,
You must have had that though, because you're out there and stuff. You must have had it. How do you deal with it?
I used to get really upset about it.
Right.
Um, but I don't believe anyone who says they don't, especially early on when you are
Early on.
into
Yeah.
business or, you're young and naive and
Yeah.
you're just trying to figure out what works. So I did get upset about it.
Yeah.
But now I do kind of just like wield that power and think,
Yeah.
well, I was on their to-do list today.
Yeah.
On my to-do list, I've got, ring EDF to check the meter reading. Or pick up Lily 15 minutes early for a dentist appointment, stuff like that's on my to-do list. I love the contact person I have no relationship whatsoever with and tell them how to run their business. I love that I'm on someone's to-do list like that. So I just enjoy it. I don't
Good.
think I reply now. But funnily enough, I did get one um ages ago. Someone had contacted me. God, this was years ago. I wish I would have kept the email. And they'd said, "Oh, I need someone to do copywriting for X, Y, and Z." I didn't know who they were. And the thing is, because I love Sorted in 60 so much,
Yeah.
that is what I want to do. And Steve, my husband, looks at me sometimes and he's like, so what? Someone's come to you and said, I want to pay you thousands to write my website and some blogs and some thought leadership pieces. And you've gone, no, no, no. Let's just do 325 quid. I'll give you some ideas and some stuff like that. He's like, what the hell are you doing? You know, we've promised our child a holiday, we can be paying for it, that kind of thing. But I know how well people do on Sorted in 60s, and I know how they come off them and they tell
Mm,
everyone about it. Someone's tagged me in a post today, thanks to a session we did yesterday. And I love that. And that gets me more custom. And honestly, if I could fill up my time with loads of people doing Sorted in 60s, I'd rather that than have one client pay me the same collective amount of money
yeah.
for me to go and write all the stuff and then deal with the back and forth and the mind
Yeah.
scope creep and all that. I just don't want it. So this guy had said, "Oh, I need X, Y, and Z." And honestly, I looked at it, and if they say, "Look, I don't want to do this myself at all. I just need to outsource it," yes, I'll quote.
Fine.
I'll still do that, of course I will, and I'll do a bloody good job. But this guy, what he'd said, something made me think he didn't need me, and that Sorted in 60 would be so much better.
Right.
Replied to him, and at the time, those sessions were 225.
Yeah.
It was a good few years ago. And I said, so that's what it'd be. If you fancy it, let me know. And he came back with, I am not paying you in excess of £200 just to have a conversation with you. Good luck in business.
Okay.
And that really fucking riled me. I went through everything. I was upset. I was
Yeah.
angry. I just all of those things. But I just think, I mean, I looked. This was a few years ago now. That happened years ago. About
Mm.
2 years ago, I did look for him again because I remembered the name. He's no longer in business, which is a beautiful.
Weird. Weird
Yeah.
that. Strange. Very strange.
And here's me having conversations with people.
That's all I do is talk. All you do is talk and write. Talk and write.
Right, it's not a job.
No,
That's a
it's
job.
not.
No one will pay for that.
I know. That's
Uh,
right. It's
so yeah, but
bizarre, isn't it?
I need to remember. I've obviously, as I've made my peace with it over the years, I've kind of filtered him out. But when you asked that question, then I thought, oh God, yeah, I remember him. His name was Greg. I remember that.
Greg.
Greg.
So, Greg, well done
Well,
on that.
business
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, well done. And to all the coaches out there, listen, just be yourself. Just please, please, please be yourself. Stop. Get rid of the shackles of your salaried job, your corporate this, your corporate that, and I need to turn up looking like this, and I need to turn up looking like that. Joe has made a fantastic business you've made a business out of being yourself.
I like that. I like that bonbon. That's a really nice way. I'll be stealing that for LinkedIn. Put it that
Good.
way.
Please do. Please do. You are now slotted into our little series because I'm doing my podcast properly, so it's divided into seasons now.
Oh God, look at you.
I know, I know.
Oh my
So
God, this is who you are now. I remembered you before you were famous.
so this is season one. You'll be appear, and I think I'm doing it there'll be 6 episodes per season, and I think I've got 5 in the can now.
Oh,
Get me with the lingo.
look at you. God, yeah, you are. This
I
is,
know,
I
I
don't
know.
recognize you.
Who am I? Don't know. But all of them are to add value to the coaches and that is huge value. So thank you so much, Joe. Thank you so much. And I've got one existential question just before my power runs out because I've not plugged my laptop in. If you had a year to live, what would you do differently? How would you live differently over the next year? It's my new existential question. It's quite deep, but you don't have to answer it in a deep way.
Wouldn't be working. I'm sorry. I hate people who say, "Oh no, if I won the lottery, I'd still work." No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. If I had a year to live, and let's face it, we never know if we've got that long, do
No, we don't.
we?
No, we don't.
I would go on all the holidays. I would do all the things. Although You remember I said about the guy I worked for at the play scheme? His name was Chaz. He died last year, and it left a huge hole in my life. It really did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But he became such a good friend. But he always told me the story. This is awful. How his wife got diagnosed with an incurable condition in her brain, and they said you've got 12 months to live.
Right.
And so he said, we went out, we traveled everywhere. We went on all the holidays, we went to all the shows, we did everything. We ate in fancy restaurants, which is exactly what I do. Do
Right. Great.
everything, create memories, especially because he had two little girls at the time,
Oh,
Lily, all of that. But the doctors had got it wrong, and she lived for another 12 years. And they had no money.
see, that's the best outcome. That is the best outcome. Okay, we had a great year, and I've got another 12. Way hey.
Yes, and we had fuck all money. Struggled for 12 years.
And on that note, I'm pressing stop for record. Bye-bye. What are you waiting for? Why carry on being a crap coach when you could be a kick-ass coach? Join us at tricres.com and find out more.